Namaste, hello Moshi Mosh. Welcome back to the channel for another review through all lens. Now, I know this has been a bit late and I do movie reviews a little delayed and all that, but the thing is, I watch them at my own leisure when I get time, and when I do, I make sure I share it with you guys. That's the whole thing. I cannot go to the first day, first show, or every time something's released on the OTT platforms, I just go and watch and binge watch and stuff. I too have a life, guys. I'm sorry, but that's just a truth I have to be honest. I always make sure whenever I see something really good, a piece of art, I just share it with you guys. So through O lens is mainly defined by that. Initially, we did have an intro. It was very much movie centric, but now I think I can share a lot of things through O lens. I want to, widen its horizon and include different things like songs, raps, and different kinds of art, whatever I feel good, a personal experience through O lens. That's the thing, like that's how it's gonna be from now on. So I skipped with the intro, and I probably won't put more intro. I don't know, I haven't decided much yet, but let's get into the main thing. I mean, guys, one of the best epic movies have arrived. Daman. I mean, Daman is on another level. I never expected this from Odia movie industry. Ollywood से ये expectation नहीं था. This is good. Now from my past experiences, Ollywood have come up with a lot of cringe and not very great scripts, very much same old crap. But this time this time they have managed to achieve something really good and made me personally hopeful for the future of Odia movie industry. Now, if you are someone who is not from Odisha or doesn't understand Odia, I don't know, just put a request to the director and make a Hindi dub or English dub or whatever regional language dub of the movie and watch it because it's that good. And if you have not watched Being in Odisha, then what are you waiting for? You just go ahead, support our audio industry because this is one of the best movies. And if we encourage these people, there might be greater movies in the future. Let's not underestimate Hollywood industry. Please, guys, just go ahead and watch the movie. Don't even watch this review right now. Just go ahead and watch that movie. I'm kidding. So we're gonna start with, as usual, direction and cinematography. While I have to forgive me, while I have to be honest with you that direction was on point and cinematography was on point, there were places where I felt it could have been better, mostly during the second half of the movie. While the camera work is really good, there is nothing wrong with it, and the establishing shots were perfect. They captured the beauty of our beautiful tribal areas and the tribal vibe and the nature from Koraput district. And actually it's shot a lot of part of it from Koraput district and Fulbani area and all that. I wish there was a little bit more to it in the second half, but I get it. According to the story, it couldn't be done, so I understand. But the initial part of the movie, the first part of the movie was very much captivating, very much well shot and well captured. Like it would grab a audience attention. Even the establishing shots and the whole character focus and everything was on point, and it was really good. I have to admit that. Now, I have no complaints in regards with direction and cinematography. I did have a complaint with the Shiva Hall that I watched in Barampur. It had a really bad screen because due to the color grading, it had a very how can I explain? It had a color grading that was very much like a little mild and subdued, kind of very subtle color grading, which actually captures the beauty of Odisha. I'm not gonna lie. If you see Odisha with your naked eye, come here, visit, and see Odisha. Daman has actually captured that beauty through its color grading. I mean it. I mean it because as a kid, I was in Koraput. I have also recently visited Daringbadi a few years ago, and that is exactly how it looks. That is exactly how it looks. The color grading job was on point. I'm not gonna lie. The whole color tone and color palette was on point, but my screen was pretty dirty, and unfortunately, it felt a little dim. But when I actually watched the trailer, I never watched the trailer before going to the movie. That was the hype of this movie, by the way. So when I watched the trailer, I realized, oh, it is the screen that actually fucked. So direction and cinematography was on point. Next, I want to come to the script and screenplay. Surprisingly, Daman had no cringy dialogues. I mean, there were a few in the later parts of the movie and in the party scene of the movie while they were graduating and whatnot. But it has no cringy dialogue whatsoever. Usually, Hollywood never disappoints in cringy dialogues, but this time there was no cringy dialogue. Even the lead actor never had any cringy acting. I mean, if you look at him, you would actually see a proper Bhuvneshwarya or Katkya guy. I mean, that's how he actually looks, and his whole demeanor and his whole acting and his whole, style of walking or talking is exactly like that, which is actually something, nice. For once, it was natural. It was absolutely natural. It wasn't at all cringy. So the script has done a good job, and the dialogues were a good job, have done a good job, and the screenplay was good. uh, Unfortunately, the story and the script actually screwed up a little bit later in the movie, in the second half of the movie. And there were a few dialogues from the nurse or the collector or the guy who visited from WHO and whatnot. Those were the parts where I felt it went a little on the overacting side and a cringe side. That's the only complaint that I have as of now. But overall, a good story and a good focused movie. Because you see, it is a real story. It is not some adapted version, not some, inspired version of anything. This is a real story. It could have been a good documentary, I'm not gonna lie, but who watches documentary, right? So these people, this whole team of Daman has done a good job in providing a cinematic, experience, and also educating us and informing us of the real scenario on ground, whatever goes on in the district. That's very important, which is really hard to do. I mean, these are the things that HTV 18, Geography Channel, and Netflix does. Whether it is Narcos or some other thing. Yes, I'm sorry, but I will compare it to Narcos because look, they have done such a good job. Yeah, it's not of that level, but they are, trying to reach there. So I'm not gonna disappoint them. I'm not gonna discourage them at all. So the team of Daman has tried to take a very important issue of malaria and put it in a very cinematic and movie style, so the general mass, the general audience can actually understand, absorb, and do something about it, be aware of it, because awareness is the key to eradicating an illness first. Next comes to acting. As I said, this time I was surprised with the acting was good, especially the lead role. um, the guy who came with his daughter uh, to our doctor, he did a great job. The tribe people, like the entire village cast, was amazing. The entire village cast have done such a beautiful job, such a beautiful job. But unfortunately, I felt the nurse did a bit of overacting, and the other officials like the collector, the WHO guy, and all that, they did a bit of overacting, and it was a bit cringe for me personally. While I really love the whole, you know concept of putting the tribal language out, that's exactly how they talk, the tribal language out. Sometimes it was hard for me to understand, but I could actually get it. You know why? Because it's very similar. It's not like it's completely foreign language to us Odias, but it has its own accent. It has its own words that are a bit, you know, sometimes problematic for people like us, the city dwellers. No offense to anyone, but but they have done a great job while capturing the essence of it. Because look, every time a villager talks, every time a tribe person talks, they talk in their own accent, they talk in their own language and whatnot. But then the doctor's pharmacist, sorry, compounder, he tries to explain it, and they do it in a similar in such a way that they do it in such a way that it doesn't over explain things, rather summarizes it in a comprehensive manner, which is a great tool. Just like in the movies of Kantara, they didn't change the voice lines of Devya. They've done the same thing with the tribe people here, and I love it. I'm a huge fan of it because it actually preserves the essence of the language and the feel and the vibe in whole. So acting, we are done with the acting was a bit cringe on the official and now side. I mean, they can do better, no problem, we'll see that. uh, Next comes the songs. The songs were actually good, because like in any Shujit Sarkar movies, you'll notice that the song described the human emotions and whatever's going in the scene. There was a similar thing going on in this movie as well. It's not, these songs are not something that you will keep on listening on loops or something. These songs are not something you might dance to or something, but these songs actually fit to the movie because of the scenes. These songs actually describe the scene, the human emotions, and that's why I love the songs. Those are good. The lyrics were actually good. I'm not gonna lie. Usually, songs have a Odia songs. Sometimes, I mean, not sometimes. Most of the times, to be honest, in the mainstream, have a very cringe lyrics to it, like very dumb cringe lyrics. But this time, although there are good Odia songs, I'm not gonna lie, there are, this particular one felt a Odia classic. Like, I'll tell you what, back in the day, we do have a set of Odia classic songs that you will actually vibe to, and you'll actually love the lyrics and the sound and everything about it. But just like Bollywood, they kind of got deviated from their path and started making all these dumb songs that made no sense whatsoever. And now this is again, we are back on track with these songs. They are not something you listen to on loops, but they are very classic songs. Like, this particular movie has such a vibe and such songs that you would just kind of understand the whole feel, captures the vibe of the movie. The whole approach towards the movie was very good. I'm very much impressed with the whole approach towards the movie and the way they depicted it. Although I would like to mention that this whole movie should have been easily covered under 1 hour. Although they did it in less than 2 hours, I feel the second half of the movie was a bit stretched, and they could have easily done it under an hour. And I understand why they had to stretch and whatnot, movie standards and stuff. But yeah, I get it. It's not a documentary, because if they made a documentary, nobody's gonna watch it. And this particular one, they tried their best and they did amazing work. Now I'm gonna now we are done with the technical reviews, so I'm gonna just open up my notepad where I made running notes of the movie like always. So if you're someone who doesn't have the patience for it, you can skip it. It's absolutely fine. I don't hate you for that. My videos are usually long. It's absolutely fine. So I'm gonna just go on and open my running notes right here. Yeah. So I'm gonna cover each point whatever I wrote one by one. Surprisingly non-cringy dialogues, yes. Overacting at the party scene in the beginning, also on the nurse's part, that was cringe. Rest till interval, it was epic, yes. It's a must watch. For the first time, one of the best cinematography and directions, yes. Script could have been better, although judging from movies Ollywood definitely has improved by leaps and bounds. Yes, true enough, because past Hollywood experiences have been horrible for me, but this one is pretty good. Being young is a bloody sin. Oh, I forgot to mention this, guys. Being young is a bloody sin because there are our doctor is actually kind of forced against his will to work in the very remote areas because he's young and he has the capacity to travel and all whatnot. Now I know this whole political things going on in real world as well, and they have not been scared to show the real side of what goes on, in the whole after the graduation from MBBS thing. They have shown the whole political side and they are not scared of it, and I'm really really very much proud of these people, this whole Daman team, that they took the courage to show this side. So I'm not going to reveal much about it. Once you watch the movie, you'll get what I'm trying to say. Last 15 minutes was just a stretch. Yes, of course it was a stretch. Overall, a good approach, well informed, educative, and yet dramatic movies. Yes, the scenes, the color grading, and the whole thing was dramatic. I'm gonna mention a few scenes that you should look out for. One of the first things that you should look out for is when I go for a dramatic. Overall, there are amazing scenes out there, but dramatic parts. One, when the doctor is about to get on board one where the doctor is about to get on the boat to leave and never come back to this district again because it's such a horrible condition for him, but he stopped. You'll know why, and you'll love that scene. Second one, when they try to save a pregnant lady, and unfortunately nature and almost luck, fate, whatever you want to call it, goes absolutely against them, and yet they try their best. You'll know the results in the movie, and you'll know why I'm saying this. That was one of the most dramatic scenes I've ever seen in my life. It was epic. Although such dramatic scenes have been depicted in classic Odia movies back in the day, and even a lot of movies of Ramanand Sagar's, but such dramatic scenes are just lovely. Next, there is humor in this movie, real good humor, when he visits the whole village, each village, all those 140 villages and whatnot. You'll actually see the humor. It's very nice. It's very simple and very lovely humor. Also, this movie had a little vibe very similar to Kantara. Yes. Now there are a lot of speculations going on that it copied Kantara and whatnot, but it had a similar vibe from Kantara. I'm gonna be honest. See, copying something directly and being inspired by is two different things. Now, we know what's copying, right? We know it very well. Although people claim to be inspired, we know very well. Now, please understand when I say this from my heart, this movie was maybe slightly inspired from Kantara in the dream sequences and the people shots, okay, but it did not copy it. It did not blatantly copy it. That's the difference, guys, which is why I am very much impressed with the movie makers of the movie Daman. Like, they did not copy it blatantly, they rather were inspired by Kantara. That too is a maybe, but it feels that way anyway. Now, okay, now listen to this very carefully, because these people really deserve the applause, and they really deserve all the encouragement and love they can get, because they've done a amazing job So the protagonist, the pharmacist, the guy with the daughter who had malaria were personal, okay, were the persons who were the show stealers for me, while the rest felt a little bit of overacting. And funnily, the tribals did better acting than our protagonists, the village cast, I mean, yes. So it was, these people actually deserve our applause, and they deserve our absolute encouragement. I was genuinely very much impressed with the acting of the pharmacist and the protagonist. Actually, I can't actually, like decide who did a better job, because even the protagonist was very good. The actor was really good. The pharmacist was really, really good. Even the tribal who came with his daughter, man, his emotions were on another level. It felt like he's actually, emotional and all. And the tribal people, the way they just folded their hands and apologized and all that, that scene was very much emotional. And the moment they say, doctor, please don't go, and all that, that scene was very emotional. Now, this movie also touches the topics such as Maoists and Naxalites. And trust me, by the end, there is a scene where the Naxalite himself is against malaria and is trying to help. Not exactly trying to help, but is against malaria. You'll get it. And they go with the program. And I personally feel this movie is very much needed to be appreciated, and they've touched a lot of subjects like Naxalites and malaria and so many important politics behind both the places of, and how the things are achieved, how it is done. This movie deserves a lot, man. Seriously, I loved this movie overall, and I could actually just, watch it again without any remorse, or without being, like, forgive me, without being bored at all. This movie is that good, not gonna lie. And they've touched all the important subjects, and they did a good job with it. Also, this movie actually followed the classic rule of establishing something, introduction, creating a conflict, and reaching a solution, which is the classic rule, and they followed it pretty well, to be honest. And would you believe, because it's really hard for me to believe, the whole movie was done with a budget of 90 lakhs. Just 90 lakhs. The whole movie's budget was just 90 lakhs, and they've achieved something amazing. You don't need expensive cameras, and you don't need expensive stuff to write a good story and make a great movie from it. You don't. This movie has proven it. This is something I personally believe it. They've used a very normal village set and made something miraculous. I, for one, is one of a huge fan of this team, Daman's whole team. And if anyone, by any chance, from the team of Daman is watching this, guys, bow down. You did a great job. Thank you for making this movie. Thank you for making us Odia proud. And thank you for bringing such a beautiful movie in the Ollywood industry. It's a moment of proud. And I'm speechless. Thank you so much, everyone. With that said, we have reached the end of the video. And thank you all for subscribing, liking this video, commenting, and showing me all the love that you guys have shown from the past few days. I'll be back with another review very soon, hopefully. Till then, you guys take care, stay blessed, and make sure you do not miss to watch some epic cinematic masterpiece like Daman. Jai Jagannath, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.